Friends, we are having MOOCs course on Buddhist philosophy. Today we are discussing the module entitled Nāgārjuna's position in Mūlamadhyamakakārikā. The objective of this module is to make student acquainted with Nāgārjuna's philosophical position in his work Mūlamadhyamakakārikā. The founder of Madhyamika school of Buddhism was Acharya Nāgārjuna. He lived in later half of the 2nd century of the Common Era. He is said to have composed not less than 15 works, the most famous out of them being Mūlamadhyamakakārikā, also referred to as Madhyamaka Shastra, and Vigrahavyavartani. The position that Nāgārjuna tries to develop through these texts can be called anti-essentialist position. Anti-essentialism is the translation of Nisvabhavavad, that is the view that things have no svabhava. Svabhava means the nature of a thing which makes the thing what it is. The Sarvastivada school of Buddhism was the most realistic school which accepted various kinds of entities with well defined natures or essences. The school accepted the existence of entities such as time, space, mind, matter, and the person consisting of 5 aggregates, 5 skandhas. It also accepted relational pairs and trios such as causes and effects, actions and fruits, knower and knowable, action, its agent and object, and past, present and future. Nāgārjuna in his work Mūlamadhyamakakārikā picked up such entities and relational complexes, and by critically examining them arrived at the conclusion that none of them exists by itself. None of them exists essentially, svabhavataha. He also examined the concepts of existence and non-existence and pointed out that the negation of essential existence does not lead to essential non-existence, and that non-essentiality is beyond existence and non-existence. Though Nāgārjuna in Mūlamadhyamakakārikā mainly focused on the views presented by the Sarvastivada school of Buddhism, his anti-essentialist criticism was not restricted to that. Through the views of Sarvastivada school, he was examining the essentialist views in general. It is our common natural tendency to essentialize things, to attribute existence or non-existence and other essential characteristics to them. Like Sarvastivada school of Buddhism, Nyaya and Vaisheshika schools of the orthodox Indian philosophy exhibited the same essentialist tendency in their ontology and epistemology. So, let us see how we find essentialism in Nyaya Vaisheshika school. In fact, Nāgārjuna's approach can be understood at least partly as his response to Nyaya Vaisheshika school of the world. Historically, Nyaya theory was the first systematic theory of knowledge in India which was presented along with and as suitable to the realistic metaphysics of Vaisheshika system. Vaisheshika system of Kanada had given a scheme of 6 categories which they called padarthas, in terms of which a mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive picture of the world could be given. Padartha means denotative meaning of a word. Use of the word padartha for ontological categories indicates the isomorphism between language and reality. Vaisheshikas call these categories also as prameya, which means knowable. In this way, there is isomorphism between language, knowledge and reality. Vaisheshikas believed that every meaningful word in our language refers to something real. This claim primarily applied to positive expressions in our language. Later on, it was extended to negative expressions. A negative expression also must refer to something in the world. This something was called absence, abhava. By introducing the category of absence, the ontological picture of the world was made complete. This Nyaya picture accepts substances, universals and absences as real. Buddha's teaching, on the other hand, contends that the reality as we commonly cognize it and the way we describe it in language involves many things which are not there, but are constructed or fabricated by our mind. So, let us see how in Buddhist schools we find the idea of mental constructs and freedom from mental constructs as the ideal. So, these mental constructions are called vikalpa. All schools of Buddhism held that our mind should be free from mental constructs in order to see reality as it is. These schools can be arranged in the order of acceptance and denial of what is empirically given and its participation in knowledge. Take Sarvastivada Vaibhashika school. Here, the external phenomena are regarded as real and perceptible, but eternality and substantiality we superimpose on them is unreal. Then let us take Sautrantika school. External phenomena according to Sautrantikas exist only in the present, but they cannot be perceived. Then let us go to Yogacara school. According to Yogacara school, only consciousness exists, external world is a false projection of mind. And lastly, when we come to Madhyamika school, according to that, all things, whether internal or external, are empty, that is shunya, that is devoid of own nature. All identifications, cognitions and descriptions are mental constructions. So, while showing this, Nāgārjuna uses a method called prasanga paddhati. So, let us talk about that. So, out of these various schools, Sarvastivada schools accepted essential existence, that is svabhavataha, astitva or satta of the phenomena. Similarly, outside Buddhism, Nyaya Vaisheshika system accepted worldly practices, that is loka vyavahara. It essentialized them through the ideas of permanent substances and universals.